Well, I guess we're just going to tell a tale. I haven't uploaded in a few days. I figure, tell a tale. Spooky tale. Let's turn the heater off. So, I'm hoping that this is a shorter, thing than usual, but we are going to do the, I guess, ceremonial cigarette. And coffee. Well, we do so. Big Chungus is investigating the cat for some reason. The cat is doing cat things. Um, so, when I was young, before I started making weapons and things, because I became obsessed with wanting to battle things, I don't know what in the fuck just fell. Yeah, investigate it, Chungus. Things are moving and falling around in here. Like, literally right now. There's no paranormal activity in here. No, none, no. Impossible. Actually, impossible. From the things I've done to this place. And, since it's not like, Anyway, so, young lad, always seeing weird things indeed, especially living out in the countryside, middle of Michigan, Well, before I started making weapons and things, so I was pretty young. I was having a dream. And in this dream, I woke up in my bedroom. It was at the end of the hall. And the same one where I saw the giant moon. And a disembodied lizard head that told me that I was the Lord of Forests. But we'll get into that one another day. Walked out of my bedroom door. Straight across the hall is my brother's room. I just tore that in half, but we're going to salvage it like a professional. I think it'll work. It'll burn. Anyway, I got my door, my brother's door. I'm on the west, and he's on the east, and this is the south side of the house. All right. I walk out, and him and my cousin shared a room together, and in my dream, I'm like, I gotta go to the left, and then next door on the right, past their room, is the bathroom, and I have to take a piss probably. I'm in a dream. It's dark. I look into their room, and I see standing there a large greyhound. Bollocks. And this large greyhound turns its head slowly, not its body, just its head, turns its head slowly, looks at me. And at this point, I went past the doorframe into the hallway itself, like toward the bathroom. And then there was an office across from the bathroom door. And the greyhound barked. And its bark was a normal bark, but it had this shockwave to it. And the shockwave hit the wall. And this was a modular house that we had put in. We originally lived in a trailer there, where I saw the gnomes and things, was in the trailer. This is, a few years later, we put in a modular, blah, blah. Well, anyway, the wall came down upon me. Like, the wall was crushed onto me. And at that point, I'm under the rubble and I wake up. It snaps me out. What the fuck was that? So I lay in bed for a minute. You know how you do when you're young? There goes cat. When you're young and you you wake up from a bad dream, or like you just whatever, something spooks you in the night or whatever. You lay there with your eyes closed and you just in fear, and you do that for a period of time. They changed the color lid on my fucking coffee. It used to be brown, now it's green. Anyway, so I wake up and I'm laying there with my eyes closed. You know, I'm just like pretending that this doesn't exist. The dream is replaying in my head. I'm trying to ignore it. You know, standard kid stuff. Peace, same. Anyway, eventually I get the courage to open my eyes. And I always had an aquarium. Well, it was an aquarium that was used as a terrarium. So I always had some kind of critter. Like toads, I raised toads a lot, or praying mantises and things. And so there was always some kind of light source in the room with me. And I had a dog. His name was Weasel. He was pretty great. But he was a small dog. Anyway, he was sleeping on the bed, and there was nothing weird going on in the room when I finally opened my eyes. And I get up, and this is not dreaming. I'm awake. I'm lucid. I'm up, and I have to piss. I walk out of my bedroom door, and as soon as I start to make that left, my brother and cousin's bedroom door is open. And standing there, exactly in the same fucking place, as I'm getting goosebumps. Like, I don't know if my camera will pick them up, but I'm getting goosebumps. Standing in the same fucking place as it was in the dream was the fucking greyhound. And I just kept moving. Like, I made the turn. Because in the dream, I stopped and I looked at it. It turned its head. Then I moved into the hall. Then it barked. The wall came down on top of me. This time, I saw it and I just kept moving. It never turned its head towards me or nothing. I just turned. I went straight down the hall. I went into the bathroom. I took a piss. And then I just went back to my room and I closed my door. But it was there. Which is strange because we always had dogs. We had lots of dogs. Tons of dogs. We had bird dogs, Chesapeake Bay Retriever, German Shorthair Pointers. We had bird dogs. Look, those are duck calls. My dad's duck calls from back in the day. But this wasn't one of our dogs. This was a greyhound. I remember specifically, all gray, or white. In the dark, because they didn't have like neutral light like I did, so it could have been, gray or white, but it didn't look at me. It was just standing there, but standing in the same orientation and everything, just right there. No walls were torn down that day, but that was a memory that I will never forget. Like when I was another quick one, just because we're under 10 minutes, whatever. I was sitting waiting for school. I used to get on the bus at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Living way out in the countryside, bus rides were long as fuck. It was like 45 minutes because you had to go around and get all the kids and shit and, whatever. You can go to a country school. Well, I'm sitting there and my dad's got in the kitchen. He's got, we got the kitchen table. He's got his seat at the end of one, the head of the table or whatever. He's having a cigarette, drinking his coffee, whatever. There's a window behind him. And of course it's black outside. You can't see anything. There's no curtains or anything drawn down. And I'm sitting on the edge of the couch, kind of toward the living room area, where these double doors were that went out to the backyard so we could see the horse pasture, the horses and shit. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this fucking window. And all of a sudden, this three-piece hand? I don't know what the fuck it was. It was shaped kind of like this. It just smashes into the glass. Like, boom! And I see its shape. Like, it's like three... I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of like... It was like three... And it was... I mean, this was bigger. I mean, they were all about the same size. It was like three things, and it hit the glass. It kind of looked black. It was black. It was a black color, I don't know, for some reason my mind wants to relay it as it was slimy, but I don't. But when it hit the window, I was staring right at the exact spot where it hit. And when it hit, it fucking scared me. It freaked me out. So I fucking flipped off the back of the couch and I landed on the ground. I remember my dad going, "What in the fuck?" And I was like, this fucking thing just smacked the fucking window and now it's gone into the fucking abyss. Because when I got back up, it was gone, of course. It was kind of like, it reminded me of like Signs or something, you know what I mean? Like one of those extraterrestrial movies. But yeah, there's a couple of the younger years. Like I said, there's so many that I'm trying to write them down in chronological order. These are kind of in the same order around the moon incident. So this is literally like a direct right before I started, like, playing with metal, and so yeah, it gets worse. There's a lot more. I don't know. I was trying to take a nap. I was listening to some ASMR, and then I got energy all of a sudden. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just recount a tale, and then it turned into 2. It's 9:30 p.m. So I'm going to, I don't know, hope that by the time this uploads, my mania is gone, and then I can fall asleep. So as a wisdom, we gotta give a wisdom, because that's a thing that I do, apparently. Oh yeah, we can just do something simple that exists already, that I don't have to create off the top of my head like a fucking moron, like I do most of the time. Never whistle in the woods at night. There you go. Old Appalachian fucking... That applies for other places too, not just Appalachia. Trust me. Anyway, this has been the Gray Squirrel. Yeah, it's getting cold in here. That's my cue. Be safe. Fight fascism and all that good stuff. Slava Ukraine and blah blah blah.